Now let's say you want to edit a new weapon or its attachments. You open up the skeleton. For here, you can copy these sockets and paste them into a new mesh. Let's say your imported skeletal mesh does not have any bones. Just copy these. These are the sockets and paste them in. Make sure the top one's called root though, as the FPS references to that. Depending on what you have in here will be available. So you always want your aim socket, your grab, your bullet case, your mag, uh, which is what comes out. And this is just a preview, your accessories. But say your pistol, if you delete the underbarrel socket, it will not even be an option or have a place to put it. However, I always just put it under everything, so that way, in case someday you need a reference to that positioning, it's there. Same thing with the stock. Again, you can just do an add preview, and this is a great way to line your items up. On each weapon, you'll want to do this. In game, your aim socket adjusts your point of view. So if I go like this, and if I alt tab, I can adjust this live in game. This will give me a better way, so when I go like this in point of view, I can see if it's lined up correctly with the new mesh and the sockets and the scope, etc. So that's an easy way to edit that live. Just when you are done with the preview, close out and make sure you save your changes that you've moved the transform. So that's one way you can do that. For the weapons, you need to add them through a list, which is a little bit complex, but so let's type in list here. There's attachment list and there's a weapons list. Let's open up the weapons list and we'll take a quick little preview of that. This is where you add the actual data of the weapon to be recognized in the loadout. If you don't want the gun in the loadout, you don't need to add this. But if you do, click the plus sign. I would recommend duplicating a pre-existing one, like say the rifle for scopes, and then renaming it to your own. Inside these, it controls the name, icon, skins, and the default attachments, which is the visual. This is where, for the example on that AK scope, if you wanted the loadout to say AK scope, you would have the weapon name there and type that in. This is just called weapon names, enum, so you can change all this. And for the optic, you would set it to scope, and then now it will spawn in the loadout when you play this part right here. That will be now scope instead of you having to pick it up. Once that's completed, you can save that. And for the attachments, I think the best way to look this up is typing list. Same thing with the attachments. You have to add new attachments if you want to add new ones. The grenade launcher and stock 2 I added. Let's open up, say, stock 2. Again, I would recommend duplicating a pre-existing. This allows you to change the section that you would find it in the menu. So tactical stock, that's easy. You can create new ones. It's a little complicated though. Icon for it, the actual blueprint of the attachment, which again, right click and duplicate those, and you can set new ones by adding the mesh. The compatible weapons, it's allowed on, so you would not want it on the pistol, but if you did, you can add element, add it. The attachment type, it's a stock. These are additional stats, so this allows a little bit more mobility, etc. You can change all this. Again, I just copied the default stock. And the mesh, this is a separate mesh than your weapon. You can try to use your weapon mesh, and it might work, but I've noticed the menu needs to be pulled back a little bit more. So I just duplicated my weapon mesh, and then I renamed it to menu stock, and that gave me more control.